Welcome to OtakusandGeeks.com review of I Saw the Devil. Let's talk a little bit about the stories and characters, but you guys already know. As usual, here's a brief synopsis of the film. When his pregnant fiancée becomes the latest victim of a serial killer, a secret agent blurs the line between good and evil in his pursuit of revenge. First of all, let me just give a round of applause to this. This was just absolutely brilliant. And the reason why this movie is so brilliantly done, just to talk a little bit first about the story before we get into the characters. The story, okay, is your basic setup of revenge. Guy gets his love of his life killed. He goes out there seeking revenge. But it's, in a way, done with so much... It's done, I won't say it's done as original, because there are other revenge films that went down this route, but it's done in such a way that is so intense and so flair, and it doesn't let go, that you can't help but wonder what the outcome is. And what really makes the story great is how they really make you see and make you question of who really is the monster here. Is the detective, the secret agent who had his wife murdered, and so driven and obsessed with revenge that he, like, you're gonna, even in this movie, he's gonna say, yo, I need this revenge, I need it. So when you have that, a person like that, and then you just have the sick, sadistic serial killer, who really is the monster here? Is it the monster, or who is really the bigger monster, I should say? Is it the monster or the person that's after the monster? And that's one of the questions that's really raised here. Who really is the bigger monster? And it's just an absolutely great film. And just to talk a little bit about the stories and the characters here, we have Bong Hong Lee, who plays a secret agent Kim So, and he is the guy whose wife was pregnant, fiance was murdered. And I tell you, man, this was an emotional ride for this guy, this character, because he is just driven with one thing on his mind. Even takes 2 weeks off. He told his boss, all I need is 2 weeks. 2 weeks off to time off for it to get back into the state of mind of becoming, doing his job. And then in those 2 weeks, I mean, it's just one hell of a ride after another, and it's so much intensity in this. And you really feel sorry for him, but as the layers peel off and you start to see that look in his eyes, and I'll talk about this in the acting, which is really, really important, the look in Kim Soo's eyes, you're like, man, is he really the bigger monster here, or is it the killer himself? And speaking of the killer, man, this guy was, he has no limits. Like, his main targets were women, but when he had to, he killed men too. But mainly his targets is the usual serial killer MO: women and children, especially women. And you see glimpses. They really don't explain why he's like that, but you see little glimpses of why he kills. Childhood, the way he views people, childhood. It has to be it was childhood, and the way women talk down on him. Like, you notice before he kills, he always insults them or say, oh, you think you're better than me. Like, he has some real serious insecurity about this guy, and you kind of felt sorry for him until he actually did the murders. Like, the way he killed people, the way he set people up and killed them was, for the most part, a lot of these people who died, I had to say this though, my biggest complaint about this is the people that got murdered in this movie, excuse my French, they were pretty fucking stupid. I mean, I'm only gonna spoil one kill for you. This kill, you guys, this girl gets into the car. The killer offers her a ride because there's no buses coming. He claims there's no buses coming for like an hour or so. And it's, it's bad weather outside. And she refuses, and he keeps asking her. He's like, come on, it's on the way. Who in the hell would get in a ride with a stranger? Like, seriously. You're just asking for trouble. And that was like the worst. I was like, all right, come on, man. Like, really? Girl, really? This is how you're gonna do it? You're gonna die like that? And it was probably like one of the worst kills. And I was like, oh my goodness, are you serious? This is how you're gonna die? And that was probably my biggest complaint. Some of the girls who got killed were pretty freaking stupid. It wasn't just like he just randomly got up there and attacked them. No, these girls willingly with him, and that was it. But for the most part, like I said, it has a great theme on good and evil, and while you're watching it, you're gonna start questioning who truly is the bigger monster here, and that's, I think, what the story really shines at. And what really is gonna shine is Kim Soo, which is the secret agent, and his fall, and his drive into madness on just finding this guy, and the way he finds out who did it, and the way he keeps torturing the guy who did it. It's that what makes it really great, but that also starts to slow down. It starts to lose its intensity when the secret agent Kim Soo just starts beating down the killer all the time, because now you're just like, oh man, when he's gonna fuck him up next. But otherwise than that, the story is pretty damn good, and the characters are really great job written down. So I mean, for the most part, and the highlight, I should say, the highlight of this movie is the ending. The ending, the final conversation between these two, when they're finally at their climactic end, and they're finally gonna finish. It's either one or the other, and I won't say who survives, but when it's finally one or the other, the conversation was bone chilling. And I'll put it this way, you'll know why this movie's called I Saw the Devil. Let's talk a little bit about the acting though. Acting, I thought, was phenomenal. And like I was saying earlier, the facial expressions in this type of acting, when it comes to these type of movies, when you have men that are driven by madness, or men that have a mission, or men that have some type of purpose, you always gotta look in the facial expression of actors and look at their eyes. And I thought Bong Hun Lee, who plays Kim Soo, the secret agent, his eyes, when he's so driven, hell bent on finding who killed his beloved, you really feel for him. You really feel like, man, this man is on a mission. And the I'm sorry guys, you know I am with the Japanese names. Min Sik Chao, who plays the killer, I think, wow, he was scary. He was kind of scary, man. I want to say he was like a bone-chilling scary, like Hannibal Lecter scary, but he was sadistic. He was a sick. I think the most uncomfortable scene. And I hardly watch a movie and be uncomfortable, but I think the most uncomfortable scene is when he tries to kill a kid, a junior high school girl. I think that was probably the most uncomfortable scenes for me to watch. It's like, oh my god, where somebody come and save this girl. And I thought that was probably, and that's what makes it really good. You really feel like you're part of the world. And I thought the direction and the acting, speaking of direction, the cinematography is excellent. Simple camera shots, simple camera angles, but man, it still gives you that dark, gritty feel that we all know and love. And you guys, this movie is on Netflix, so Netflix it up if you have Netflix, or go to your local stores and see if you can find it in Best Buys. I mean, this is a movie you have to watch. The music, actually, for the most part, I did like the music too. The music brings, it raises that suspense, it raises that mood, and you feel tense, especially when it's time when you know he's about to kill, and you just feel like, oh boy, it's coming. But the music doesn't warn you when the killing's coming. It just makes you feel tense and raises your blood pressure, like, oh boy, here we go, what's gonna happen? And like I said, the movie is solid, the story's great, it's a great character study on theme, and I really did enjoy it, and I think you guys will enjoy it too, mostly for the, forgot to warn you guys, this movie is not for the weak of heart. So if you are not comfortable with certain kills and certain rape scenes, or about to be rape scenes, then you might want to skip this if you're sensitive to that type of material. But for the most part, like I said, it's a nice, gritty movie. I mean, the pacing, the intensity drops a little bit when he finds out who he is, and basically it's just cat and mouse of, I'm gonna find you and just gonna keep torturing you because I want my revenge. But after that, if you look at it overall, it's a really great revenge film, one of the best I've seen, and this was made in 2010. So I mean, like I said, it's on Netflix, and I'll give it a final grade. Out of 5 stars, I give it 4, and if you guys like the letter number grades, 8.5 to in the B+. So this is Justin from Otakus and Geeks saying, later days. I Saw the Devil, great movie. Go Netflix it. Later days.